kind of like stereo though. I'm not gonna hold you. It makes it
Yeah, I would.
more immersive.
I usually listen to anything that exists in stereo, if it's possible.
It just it makes it more immersive. It makes it feel like I'm right in the room,
Yeah, exactly.
whispering all up in your ear.
Never mind. I hate stereo. I'm never using it again.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Look, look, look. What's good, y'all? Welcome, welcome, welcome to episode 3 of the Cherry Waves podcast. And today, I have the one, the only, the light skin, the white skin Choji, the one and only Grease Lightning.
The Grease Lightning. That's what you came up with.
I couldn't think of anything. I couldn't think of anything. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not gonna hold you.
It was all good. It was all good, and then you came up with the Grease
Well,
Lightning.
cause you were in band, you played trumpet. I was like, it seemed like it fit. It seemed like it
It
fit.
seemed like it fit.
It's
Everything made
it's
sense. Choji, I was like, oh yeah, that's a reference to the Discord. Everything made sense. And then that came up.
it
Nah, it's perfect. It's perfect.
it admittedly was one of my weaker ones, but the point got across.
I'd rate it top 3 out of however many there's been.
Out of
3 or
three,
so.
out of three.
Yeah, 3 or so.
Well, welcome to my good friend Frost, aka William, aka Bill,
Nope.
aka.
All of them but the last one.
Okay, well, welcome Will to the podcast or Frost. Either
It's
one
good.
works.
It's good to be here. Haven't done anything with YouTube, Twitch, anything like that in a long time.
I know it's definitely it has been a minute. What's happened? Tell us about the story, the rise and fall of Frostbit 112. Otherwise,
I
and Frost and Frozen. Don't forget that.
oh god, you're talking about all the way back to like
Let's hear your origin
what?
story. Let's start off with that. This time you can explain your
Okay.
origin story.
All
I'm
right.
not gonna give
So
it for
I
you.
was born in 2000.
All right, too far back.
Far back. No, it was just basically I wanted to make YouTube videos back in like freshman year or so with a crappy little computer that could hardly edit videos. And I started making videos on YouTube. I made like what, 7 or 8, and then I gave up because I was like, well, I'm not actually having very much fun with this. It wasn't very fun. I didn't enjoy it. And then what I did enjoy was going over to a friend's house and recording with him. And I think there was like 5 episodes, but he didn't enjoy it, so that there was a little bit of conflict there. My channel, I took down all the videos where I talked, I think, other than one stream highlight on my channel. But the other one has the videos up, and I actually am proud of those ones. I like those ones a lot.
Hey, there you go. So out of all of it, you produced something that you're proud of.
Yeah, and had fun with the one with friends. It's definitely more so for me than recording in the room by myself.
I feel that. So for those of you who don't know, this man Frost right here is one of like my earliest and most consistent backers on any and everything that I do. Like, this man has been around since middle school
Yeah,
when it wasn't a question on how long, because I know it's been since middle school, but
I think
think about what I did in middle school. I think back then, because YouTube and streaming, um, I think that was it.
yeah, that's it.
I remember I edited some of your stuff as well back in the day.
Yeah, because my computer couldn't handle it, and then at one point I didn't even have a computer.
Mine couldn't handle it either, so I don't know how he got away with that. But I still have some of the files. I got Clash Royale files sitting
Do you?
in my drive on like my cloud device on my
I don't
computers.
see. I was stupid and I deleted all of my videos actually, so I have no access to any of my old videos that
Okay.
you edited.
I don't got the videos, but here
But you got files like the
yeah.
thumbnail.
So yeah, I got, what's it called? Let me see if I can find it. I have the thumbnail. I have your old intro idea.
Oh, I didn't even know. I don't even remember having an intro idea.
Let's see. I think there was some other stuff. I legitimately think that I had some other stuff. I can't remember what all I have now. I'm gonna try to find it as we talk, but that way I can send it to you. But
Yeah, I think uh, there was a few videos I had you do. The Clash Royale one I recorded on my phone with the like
screen.
built-in with the built-in screen recording.
Okay, I just sent you. I think I just sent you.
Arena 4 deck.
Yeah, I sent you a thumbnail. I don't know what format this file is or what SNG is. I don't remember. I don't know what file that is, but that was your intro idea. And so yeah, basically all that is to say is that you've been in this for a minute, and even now, Frost, you have been supporting everything I do.
Yeah,
This man has funded, has put so much funding and feedback into everything that I do. Like the logo that you see for Cherry Waves, he was one of like the 2 or 3 people I ran it by multiple times to get it down to where I wanted. Um, Even like this man has paid me in the past for commission art that took
which I still have.
many years to actually get into his hands.
What, like 4 years,
Yeah,
3 years,
something like that. But I was
something
pretty proud of how
crazy.
it came out. Although I still think I could do better now if I redid it. So if you ever want to drop money my way again, I'll hit you up with it. I'll hit you up with another one.
And then I'll wait for a few more years, and then
No,
I'll
no,
get
no,
it.
no.
No
Listen,
worries.
listen. Now I'm at a point where I can do it in like a week tops it. Like, but
A week.
if I focus, I can do
All
it in
right.
like a day or two. But that requires a level of focus that I never feel like exerting on any sort of art project. I'm not gonna hold
Which
you.
means it's not happening
No, it would happen
in
if
a
you.
day
It
or
would
two.
happen
No,
if
in
you
a
pay
day or
me.
two, I mean.
If you pay, I've gotten a lot better with commissions. If you pay, it will happen.
Yeah, I meant in a
Um,
day or two, more specifically.
yeah.
I'm thinking back. Oh, Undertale was what I remember watching you stream first, and I think Cake was there before me. Cake might be the only
was
person I remember being there before me.
was Cake there? Yo,
Uh huh.
oh my gosh, Cake is another one that I'm surprised. Cake has just been a ride or die. Like I vanished. Like I pulled the damn avatar. I vanished for like how many years?
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden I come back randomly, and Cake is like one of the first people to pop his stream and be like, "Yo, like." That joints be crazy to me because I don't never like I don't know because like I even have friends from back in the day, like in the early years of Twitch, and I'll see like them stream like they won't have streamed in a while, and sometimes I'll see them stream and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna pop in because I don't think we as close as we used to be.
yeah, I feel
Uh,
that for real. I have
yeah,
multiple friends that make content that I just don't even talk to anymore, and I knew them in school. Just
yeah.
we just dropped out.
And yeah, it's like not like I have any ill will towards them. It's literally just like I'm not gonna pop in because I don't know if we cool like we used to be.
Yeah,
But Cake and even you, because we didn't even go to the same high school. Like I think it was kind of
I think we
content
only went to
creation.
middle school for a year.
Was it only a year?
Yeah, because I
If it's
was
only
only
a year,
over there
you
in
only
ninth
it's because
grade.
you transferred. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say if
Mhm.
it's only been a year, it's because you transferred. Because I know I was there all 3 years because my grandma was our band director. Shout out Miss Johnson. Shout out my grandma
Yeah,
Pumpkin. Love you.
well, she's still in California now.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go visit her in a few weeks from when this is uploaded because I want to go see her and the rest of my family and make sure everybody's doing okay. Like I call them and stuff to make sure they're doing okay, but I'm probably gonna go over in quarantine with them a little bit. Not go out nowhere because ain't nobody trying to do that. My grandma's not even supposed to have visitors, but I just I want to see her, check in, and it's been a while, and I definitely try to make sure I take advantage of those opportunities if they're safe and presented well.
Yeah, I still live with my grandma right currently, but I moved out for a while, and I would luckily lived in the same city as her, so I was able to go see her at least once or twice a week, which is super nice.
I remember I remember that. How did it feel to be a young homeowner?
Um, it was great actually. It was probably the happiest I was for the past
Really?
years. Um, when we all ended up moving out, I was pretty depressed for a while.
I can understand that. I what's it called? I stayed Okay, so let me let me double check. When you stayed on your own, you weren't in college, right? That
No,
was
I
what,
was just
senior year of
working.
high school and last year.
It was just last year. I
It was
was
just
moved
last year.
out a few months after we graduated, so I guess 2 years almost was about how long the house was owned for. But I was only there for like a
A
year.
year of it. Okay. I know, and you weren't in college, if I
No,
remember correctly. Okay, yeah. I and see, I the reason I understand how you feel is because when I was in college, I was in the dorm, and it was my first year. In both semesters, I lived for the majority of the year on my own. I had a roommate at the beginning of each semester, and then a few weeks later, they moved out. So I definitely understand how you feel about the whole. It's nice when you have it, and then you don't realize like how much you miss it entirely until
until you don't
you
have
ain't
like
got
a
nobody there.
yeah.
And a house, you got a lot more room. There's a lot more space to like have
Yeah,
your own
we had
personal
four
time.
people. We had 4 people in the house, but like we all had so much room to ourselves, and then one big group room where we would all just hang out. And we were all friends. It's different than living with family, you know. You
Yeah,
can go talk to them about whatever you feel like because you share interests and whatnot. There's nothing you really hide from each other because you're just friends.
yeah, because there's definitely there's and that's always something that exists is like a disparity between what you can talk with friends and what you can talk with family about. Like there's some things that I've only told my friends, and I can never fathom telling my parents. Um, and then there's things that I only really tell my parents, and I don't think that a lot of my friends need to know. Like stuff like that. There's definitely a disparity, but in terms of like casual living, I would say that like a lot more of like the casual stuff overlaps with friends because those are ultimately like the people you grow up with, or at least in your generation. So it's more likely a lot of generational interests overlap.
Yeah. Even from things to preferred video games could be different if your parents like my dad plays video games all the time, but he also grew up on different video games, which makes him prefer different video games nowadays that come out than I do.
And
Like
my fault. Go ahead.
I grew up playing what Halo and whatnot, and that was a game he recommended to me. But it's different than him growing up and playing Mario.
Right.
And now
I ain't
he,
never touched a Halo game in my life.
yeah, I liked them growing up. Now it's so whatever. But just now he plays Hearthstone and I play League of Legends, like completely different games. And I grew up with him. You'd think at least some interest would like overlap with mine, but we don't play any video games that are similar. We don't follow the same channels on YouTube or whatever, listen to the same podcasts, whatnot. Even music, even something as music is different.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's something else that's crazy is a lot of like musical expectations. It feels like like there's so many times where it's like people expect you to know like some band from like the 70s, 80s or even like 90s. But keep in mind like we're both 2000s kids. Like you're 2000, right?
Yeah,
And I was 2001.
yeah,
Um like there is ultimately musicians from I'd say like the by the time that we can cognitively recognize what music is, it's probably about when we're 10 or so. So like 2010 and up is probably where we start to recognize music and get our sort of distinct taste. There's no reason that we should, not no reason, but there shouldn't really be like the expectation that we know musicians from 70s, 80s, or even like the 90s, because ultimately in the 2000s there's a whole new branch of music and set of music that is coming out
yeah.
for our time.
On top of the fact that like even music from the early 2000s, I can't tell you I would know all of the popular
Oh
bands from
yeah,
back then.
don't worry. I don't know like no bands from like my the only things I know because I I looked it up for one of those like 30-day music challenges is like songs from my birth year. I only know that Outkast, like Sorry Miss Jackson or whatever, it was either 2000 or 2001 because I kept getting two different answers every time I would look it up. Like I don't know songs from even then early in my birth year. Like, and the reason I said 2010 is because that's about middle school. And I would say for me, at least personally, middle school is where I started recognizing more music, and starting to pick out my own sort of distinct artists and all that kind of stuff that I listen to.
Yeah, and I think that that's definitely one of the things that changes from person to person more so because I grew up playing music games like Rock Band and stuff, so it feels like I like around 7 or 8 is when I started picking out a taste for my music taste and started growing up figuring out what I liked
Oh, hey,
because
yeah.
it's just different environment.
No, I doubt. Yeah, that also makes sense. That's true. I played a little bit of Guitar Hero with my brother, which is where I like. But at the end of the day, the only songs I really remember from that is Barracuda and Through the Fire and Flames. I
And who does that other one probably isn't even from a childhood memory. It's just
like yeah yeah. It's like even though like those are like the iconic ones,
Yeah,
in a sense, or at least that's how they feel towards me. Through the Fire and Flames, I think for sure is iconic by now. I would argue that that's an iconic song
I would say so.
if
Anybody
from
who
then, yeah.
knows music in general probably knows it.
I feel like that's definitely iconic. And then Barracuda, I don't know how much. I think there's probably a
See,
few other songs I could recognize from that, but I wouldn't know like the names of. School's Out is another one. I remember that one. You know what I'm talking about?
I think like School's Out for Summer, that song.
Yeah, but like
Yeah, okay.
School's Out. Yeah, that.
Oh yeah, okay. I didn't play Guitar Hero growing up. I only played Rock Band,
And
which is
even that
I think
differences.
I played Guitar Hero with a cousin when I was real young, but that doesn't really count. I hardly played the game, let alone did I listen to the songs.
I think, and funny enough, I think for me, uh, as you talk about Rock Band, I think my equivalent for that, for where I got music taste from, was Just Dance in middle school. I promise you, after after school in middle school, I would go to the YMCA across the street, and I would torch "Call Me Maybe" on Just Dance. Like I promise you, couldn't nobody hit it how I hit that shit, bro. Wasn't nobody doing it like no, ain't nobody have it how I had it. I would be like, hey, I just met you, and getting perfect day in day out, bro. I promise you. And so much of my music that I listen to, like even I think my interest for like more like poppy stuff, like um I don't know, like a lot of those songs and stuff, my interest probably come from Just Dance, which is a lot of mainstream stuff as well. Because that's like their what's it called, demographic.
It almost feels like normie music, as lots of people would put it, and you know, I think that's perfectly fine listening to pop music. My entire friends group is very different from me, where none of them listen to pop music because they all despise it.
Wait.
So I can't talk about music with anybody basically.
There definitely has
And
to be an openness and willingness. My fault.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, and it's something I've learned to deal with, but that's something that's hard because music being one of my favorite things to like. I listen to music day in day out all the time. It's almost 24/7.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm sleeping, I'll turn it off, but half the time when I'm sleeping, there's music playing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I trust me. I sleep with music. Growing up, I've always slept listening or watching YouTube videos specifically. Um, and well, nowadays, like I sometimes I'll sleep listening to music, sometimes I'll sleep listening or watching YouTube. I know in the dorms a lot, I would play music because my roommates were also cool with it. Because I have a sleep playlist of just like a lot more softer hip hop, pop songs or R&B on it, and that's what I listen to going to sleep. Just kind of like vibes sort of stuff, like the same music I feel like y'all listen to if I ever got high. It'd be like that kind of stuff that like lifts your spirit and helps you like relax and not necessarily think about life too hard. Um, I forgot why I
Uh,
was saying that, but I mean that's the point. That you get
yeah,
the point.
yeah. Thinking about sleeping playlists, I think mine is completely different from yours because mine is mostly super upbeat music from games and whatnot. Like
Like some Scott
you'll
Pilgrim versus the World stuff.
Yeah, like Garbage Truck. No, not the game Scott Pilgrim specifically. If I were to have, it's lots of pop as well,
Okay.
or like grunge rock is in there. Megalovania I think is literally on my sleeping playlist.
I love Megalovania.
So there's a lot of super upbeat music, and I can't sleep unless I have upbeat music or silence. Those are the only two. There's no in between.
I can get
Uh,
that.
I can sleep watching YouTube videos, but that's only because I stay up longer than I should and like
More so you
crash.
pass out, yeah.
Yeah,
Less than it actually like helps lull you to sleep.
yeah.
Like I think so for me, not I think I know. For me, it's always been about like having another person there. And that's what makes it easier for me to sleep watching YouTube videos because that was always sort of like my comfort thing. Was like way back in the day watching like Josh Jepson, Nintendo Capri Sun, like
Chugga Conroy.
yeah. I didn't watch so much Shaka Conroy, but I knew of him in the community. I definitely watched the Runaway Guys though, so I can give it
You're
that
halfway there. You're halfway there.
a third. Well, I
Third.
guess wait, I guess what 2/3 maybe because Nintendo Capri Sun, Shaka
Yeah,
Conroy.
and Proton John is the other one.
Yeah, so I'd say 2/3. Well, what 1/3? 1/3? I
Nintendo
don't know.
Capri Sun
I
is the
listen.
only one.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I don't
uh,
know.
I meant more so you were like halfway there to watching Chugga
Chugga Conroy.
Conroy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I get you. Yeah, and so that's why like I remember watching like Rayman 2 from Josh Epson, Conker's Bad Fur Day, Nintendo Capri Sun, Plants vs
Oh,
Zombie,
that's
Nintendo Capri Sun.
by far Conker's Bad Fur Day, one of my favorite YouTube series out there
Oh
from Nintendo.
man, the fact that that flew and got away on YouTube, y'all. If you have not seen that, I encourage you to just go. You don't even gotta watch it, but just go look and skip through the videos and watch like maybe like a 5 minute section and ask yourself how that flew and got away with being on YouTube. Like, oh my gosh, I would love I would love to see more Conquer.
I think the best part about Nintendo Capri Sun specific playthrough of the game is how he's much more family friendly as a person making YouTube videos than the game actually was.
Yeah,
So there's so many childish jokes just in super inappropriate parts of the game
yeah.
that because he's making them.
It's so great. Like it was so and so many of those things like flew over my head, which is why even that I knew that that game was so crazy back then speaks to how crazy that game sort of was. Because I'm not going to get a lot of the subtleties as a 12, 13-year-old kid. Like I was very probably innocent up until I don't know, like high school. Probably like even like sophomore, junior years is when I started like actually kind of like understanding a lot of that stuff. Um, which I feel like is probably normal.
Pretty normal, yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I'm definitely not gonna understand that specific content that is out there. It was just entertaining to me, and I loved the people, like the personalities that were working with it. I'd say that's and I know for a fact that those two as well as like Captain Sparkles was another one I watched in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Um,
Sky Does Minecraft is the one I watched the most actually.
I loved watching I think it was Prison.
The
Uh
mini game where they had
yeah.
like one or two wardens or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite things in the world
Actually, I
to
take back
watch.
what I said. I think ASF Jerome and Bayesian Canadian were my most watched because they did a lot of videos together and I enjoyed their personalities together more so than one specific YouTuber.
Individual.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to think about what because I watched them too. I even got a Bayesian Canadian hoodie back in middle school and I probably still have it somewhere. But I know what's it called? I know for Captain Sparkles, I really liked. So I don't know. I liked the okay. Aside from Minecraft, the Trials Fusion, that was another one that like really stuck with me. Like I don't know, it felt so separated from the cluster of YouTubers that formed up the rest of the Minecraft community, be like Sky, Jerome, Bayesian, what like Lachlan, like all of them. Like he felt like so separated. and almost like a little more mature. And I think that's what I liked about his his content. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it's kind of a funny concept thinking about mature with Minecraft YouTubers because
Yeah.
it's a game meant for like a family to play,
Yeah.
and you don't think about a game like that, which is lots of people call it a kids game, to be mature. Like, so having a mature personality playing Minecraft is just interesting concept to say the least.
Yeah, and that's not even to knock like what everyone else did. Like I also watched their content, like not just as much, but I watched a very, very good amount.
Yeah.
Um and so like that's not saying like I didn't enjoy that as well. It's literally just like that was the personality sense that attracted me more. It's not a name bias either. I know that both of our names are Jordan, but it wasn't just some name bias. Um though even that is cool, like seeing people with my name for me in a spot of like in not necessarily popularity but like a sort of influence. um I don't know, it felt like a sort of weird sense of representation. Like I don't know, I don't
Kind of
think
project
it
yourself onto it.
yeah, maybe I just didn't have enough black heroes growing up, so I had to resort to the next best thing, it was just names. But like I don't know, seeing people like and maybe it's because I always felt like my name was like basic or something like that.
Oh, there was at least 7 Jordans in my grade at my high school.
See, and I had I think maybe like two or three, but to like see that, oh, this person with my name, and no matter how common it is, they stand out from the rest. So like clearly it is possible to stand out. No matter what, you just have to put that sort of time in it and make yourself known. You know?
Yeah, and another thing about content creators on YouTube is I've noticed people get almost too attached to what content creators will do and say.
Like
Uh,
idolizing.
yeah, exactly. And I think one of the best examples is the whole Smash community
Oh
kind
no.
kind of felt shambles.
Yo, okay, real quick. I'm gonna let you finish. But when I, yo, when Zero made the post talking about
Oh,
roast me, I was like, and then later, what, like the next day or a few days later, all of this stuff came out about him. I was like, now it all makes sense. Everybody else was getting exposed, and he felt like he deserved this. I was
I
like,
I was looking for a picture you posted, and I saw that in your media the other day too, and I was like, wow, unfortunate.
I know that was unfortunate timing. I honestly, I had the best roast out there. It didn't get the traction it deserved, but you know, artists are never truly appreciated until after they die.
And then
So
I think you responded to yourself saying nothing but love though Zero,
I
and I was like,
know.
oh, that hurt a little bit inside.
It did, cause like, and I want to get back to what you were saying earlier. But Zero for me, cause I wasn't heavy into the Smash community. I'm not heavy like into fighting game communities in general, cause I get like I don't necessarily get frustrated. I don't get the satisfaction necessarily that I want from fighting games. It's just not like my avenue, but I do play them because I still enjoy them to a degree. And I enjoy being good at them, and I enjoy being able to play them with friends or with other people who just enjoy playing them. That's why I like streamed a lot of Smash, is because I enjoyed meeting and playing with the people who enjoyed that game and seeing why they enjoy it. Because I enjoy watching it for sure. I just don't get the same rush from playing it
Yeah,
that I
polar
do
opposites
watching.
there. Definitely polar opposites there. I would
Yeah.
much rather be the one improving and feeling like I'm getting better at the game than watching other people do it.
Well, I've seen you with fighters, but my point in saying that is Zero was one of the few people that I consistently looked up to in terms of Smash, especially because he's talking about all this stuff about like immigration struggles and all that kind of stuff. Like he is a fellow minority oppressed by the system, and so like naturally because of where I fall in society, that is something that I am able to look up to, because it's just more proof. Like, not necessarily that I need the proof, but it is more proof that it is possible to be oppressed uh, and successful. But why is it that so many of these people are corrupt at the end of the day?
And that goes back to to the original point of just because the community will idolize you if you become popular within it, and that's a problem, I'd say, more than anything, with the way YouTube works as a whole. Because people are like, oh, he has more subscribers than me, so he's better than me, so I should look up to him.
Yeah,
And that that's not always necessarily true. Actually, I'd say more than not, it's shouldn't be ever true, because I don't think anybody should be considered better than anybody else for a number.
because it's like what I think it comes down to is looking at it as the number represents respect. This many people respect what you do enough to want to consistently follow it and show you the support and make sure that you're able to keep doing this thing. So if so many people agree that what you do is beneficial to the community and want to keep funding it, why would you want to go against that? Why would you want to be the person that says no, we shouldn't support them to this degree? Because at that point you become like an outlier. And I'm not even saying that to say that like the support that people give is bad. It only becomes bad when it's obsessive or like sort of blinding.
And that's what happened with the Smash community. Is it became obsessive and blinding. This player won so many tournaments in a row, so we should all idolize him.
Because he's the best of the best.
Yeah, just because you're the best at something doesn't mean that you should be idolized. You should be respected for sure, but you shouldn't just get to do whatever you want within said community because you're better at a video game than them. That other people in the community don't deserve less rights than you because you're better at a video game than them.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, exactly. It comes down to respect them, but also recognize that they will not be perfect. You have to be able to separate them from, or what they do from who they are. Like, I don't know, it's crazy. And I've said before, like, uh in terms of the community that I build, I want to be respected. I want to be like an inspiration to people, but I don't want sheep. Like, I don't want people who will just follow and do whatever I say and support all that stuff. Like, I want everybody to be like opinionated and express that opinion in healthy manners and all that kind of stuff. Like, I want people to be people regardless on how, like, necessarily like what I do. Like, if I do something bad, call me out on it. Like, don't let things slide just because you look up to me or because I'm an inspiration, because that just shows, like, I don't know, it sets like a bad precedent for how things can go moving on.
And then more people will start to follow suit of that first person who did it as well, which could just lead up to a whole community becoming kind of corrupt in a
Right.
way. Like
Yeah.
something like I don't follow Dr. Disrespect because I don't like him and his community very much. It feels kind of toxic. But people that join the community, which this might be controversial, I don't know how many people follow him, but people who join his community won't see him as toxic because they're the kind of the same way. And they look up to him and they're like, oh, if he does it, then I should be doing it too. Or like the old Tyler One community was all super toxic. I think Tyler One's community is still kind of toxic. I think the League community though is also pretty toxic, and it's all because the people at the top of the League community, all the big streamers and whatnot, have toxic personalities and will be toxic to the other players in their game, and that leads the entire community to believe, hey, I should do that too. And all of a sudden, you have an entire one or two bad apples got to the top, and now the entire community is bad apples.
Yeah, because it's shown that it is okay to do that, because you can still be successful, which even outside of any video game community, this literally
Oh yeah,
proves itself in real life with some hey, I've been very opinionated and expressive already on political views and stuff like that. So I think we all know what I mean when I say this, but it's been proven already that you can be successful and arguably the most powerful man in the world, despite all of the atrocious and shitty things that you have done to other people or even said.
Yeah.
Um, like it is still possible, and I don't know, like just stuff like that. It's like it's not necessarily depressing. It's just disappointing.
Yeah. I'm not mad at the people. I'm just disappointed in them.
It's like how can you and okay, here's the thing. I also like believe in like second chances and all this stuff. Like I feel like I'm very forgiving. I want to see the best in everybody. But there's also like to kind of do that, you also have to be able to acknowledge that they can't stay in that same necessarily position of power or stay in the same mindset that they're in. So there is some sense of like punishment or something like that. I don't like using the word punishment, but there is steps
It's
that you
like
have to take to be able to help them be the best.
you can get a second chance to become a better you, but to become a better you, you do actually have to change. You can't just continue where you're at.
Yeah.
Your lifestyle may change. There's a lot of things. You won't become the most powerful man in the world anymore. Oh no. You might become a better person out of it.
Like yeah, it's just like it's things like that where I don't know. There's so much to do, and there's so much that's just shown in society that necessarily isn't the most uplifting. But there's also like a lot of potential, and we even see it like generationally that I don't know, like each generation kind of becomes more progressive, which is something that I also appreciate about how we've been living. Generations are more expressive and passionate and want to let everybody be uh themselves like to the best of their abilities and wants to provide opportunities for that.
Uh, I don't think I could see myself growing up with any of our older generations because it just feels like
I would be pissed
most of
off.
them. Oh yeah, I would be fuming, literally.
Like
Like the whole it just feels like everything is so different from how it used to be, but different in like a better way.
oh yeah, for
And
sure.
I for sure definitely don't want to be part of the worst way. So I'll gladly be part of this generation, even if where I grew up specifically isn't exactly more progressive. I know that other places and our generation as a whole is an outlier from my city is an outlier from everywhere else, basically.
Right. And that's why I'm even hopeful for my kids one day. Like, should I have kids, I'm really hopeful that they'll be able to be a part of like a better society that accepts them for who they are. Like, I don't know. It's one of those things where even now it can definitely be hard. I've had conversations with friends where they're like, they don't know if they could tell their parents certain things hypothetically. Like they're scared hypothetically, like if they were a certain type of way that it wouldn't be accepted by their parents. Like if they were, like if they came out as I don't know, like like if they came out as gay or like bi-curious or anything like that, that they feel like they wouldn't be able to express that to their parents hypothetically. Not that they're actually scared, but that they are literally scared of the thoughts of if they were, which I've also had that feeling before. So it's not even like it's an uncommon feeling. There's just like that generational thing where back in our like most of our parents' generations, those kind of things weren't, except being who you are was not acceptable. But
Yeah,
now we're slowly building a society where those things are. And that's like also what I hope for my kids is that things are more like that, that they can feel comfortable with who they are.
we're definitely getting more so to a generation of be who you are, but like actually be who you are, as opposed to our parents grew up in be who you are as long as it falls within the guidelines of
What
how
we want.
society wants you to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing that I love, I know you watch Game Theory, right?
Yeah.
In one of their live streams, they were talking about just buying clothes for their kid, and how genderized or gendered clothes are, and how like even buying clothes for themselves, because Matt, he was wearing a woman's hoodie, um, and they're talking about mostly how gendered clothes are, and how like all the boys' clothes is like monotone, like blacks, grays, trucks, and dinosaurs, and then like all the girls' clothes, it's like all the colorful, sparkly stuff, and saying like, well, as a kid, I feel like all the colorful, sparkly stuff is the stuff that I want, that my eye is naturally like attracted to, and how
Yeah.
they buy their son clothes from either section, which I think is beautiful and exactly how those kind of things should be done. Like I don't like the gender, like
Yeah.
genderization
Even
of
as
clothes.
a young adult,
Oh
basically.
yeah, I
Like
buy I,
I
I'm
look
fucking
at
around buy some
I
women's
look at
clothes.
I look at the men's section. I'm like, ugh, most of that looks like
Yeah,
garbage that I would
it's
never
ugly.
wear. And then I look at the women's section. I'm like, wow, that sweater looks
It
super super
it's
nice.
eye catching, right? Like I be like I you don't know how many times I looked at my closet and I'm just like, what is all this black and white? I need some more color. Like I'm looking at it right now. It's like all black and white, and I'm like, I need some more color, some more stuff that pops. And so I promise you, I have like a cart full of like women's sweats and pants that are like super like fancy and colorful and like stand out ish that I just
What,
haven't bought.
for example, one of my favorite pieces of clothes that I have in my repertoire
Ooh,
is a pink short sleeve hoodie. It doesn't fit me like a hoodie because it came from the women's section and they didn't have any sizes big enough to fit me as a hoodie. But it fits me as a t-shirt, and I can wear just a pink uh, short sleeve hoodie as a t-shirt.
I like that.
Yeah, and it's nice. I like it's more softer on the inside and more comfortable in general than most of my clothes.
See, and I'm out here looking at like uh pants with like stars and flowers on them, like are like jeans sort like kind of like baggy jean joggers. I think it's like sweatpants really. Sort of stuff that has like stars and or like two tone, like where one pant leg is like uh pastel pink and the other one is like pastel blue and stuff like that. And it's literally just sitting in my car waiting for me to click buy once I figure out the sizing of it. It's just like stuff like that is so. And bro, I promise you, this is why I always pick the women in video games with character customization. It's
Oh,
because
especially Pokemon.
even in games, it'd be so much nicer. All the options like for hairstyles, clothing options, like all that stuff. It's so much. It feels like there's so many more
It's
options.
almost upsetting because I can't portray myself onto the character as well
It's
as I feel like I
very
should be able
upsetting.
to.
Very
Like,
upsetting.
especially when I play Pokemon, especially when I play Pokemon, it feels like there's so few options when you choose the male character compared to when you choose the female character, and you just have so many clothing options. And that was one of my big realizations when I was growing up is how upset I was that I couldn't look cool or whatever, look however I wanted
Like
with
what
a
you
male
want.
character.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know. Like there's definitely even in real life, I feel like there's so many more standards. Like I wish I could do more with my hair. I'd be trying to do more with my hair. I need to like hit up some black women in my community and see what I can do or something. But like I don't know. It feels like there's less options in it, or even not even necessarily options, but ease of accessibility for those kind of things, like for those barriers to be broken. You know, like there's I feel like like in video games and in real life, there's not necessarily all those options and opportunities available to break those societal boundaries. Um,
Hell,
which
even
I don't
getting hell, even getting a cat hoodie online is hard.
know.
Like, I want a hoodie with cat ears, and the reality of that is, if you look up
You're
hoodie with
not gonna
cat
get
ears,
one.
they're all sized for women.
Yeah, there's just not gonna be nothing that fits you. And it's just like there's no it just makes it hard for accessibility like that. Um, like I'm trying to think about some other ones. Like I think even ear piercings are generally in like women's jewelry stores.
Yeah,
Uh, which wait,
there's
I don't know.
a societal norm. I feel like that still needs to be broken a little more. Is
Just jewelry
jewelry,
store. I
jewelry in general.
yeah, I definitely think that as well. Like
Wearing a bracelet, you get looked at weird if it's not just a bangle.
yeah, I started wearing piercings. Mine are magnetic. Um, if I were to actually get my ears pierced, I definitely wanna try out some of the. I would definitely want hoops. I've thought about I want or like not hoops but rings.
Yeah,
Um, as well as I like the ones like the rings with like the shit that hangs down. Like any sort of like dangly ones, I always think that those are cool. I'm not even gonna say that they would look good on me, but if I would pierce my ears, I would at least find out. Like,
yeah.
um, but yeah, even there's so much like jewelry stuff that is just gender gendered. I don't know what the proper what is it an adverb verb what
The
the
word, proper
yeah
word.
what the proper word is
English
for
was
that.
not my suit, so I can't help you
Don't
there.
worry, I got a 5 in AP Lang, and it's still not mine, so no worries. I'm literally a perfect college English language and composition student, and English is still not my forte. Ain't that something? Ain't
I'll
that
stick
some shit?
I'll stick to that easy mathematics and music. That's much easier.
There you go. You can speak two different languages, music
I
and
can
math, or three if you count English. I
four
don't.
if you can French.
Oh, you speak
Oh God,
French?
actually, I don't know if I could
Say something in
speak.
French. What? Respondez
I
s'il
don't
vous plaît.
I don't think I could speak fluently in French anymore. I've just thought about that.
Didn't I just say what RSVP stands for?
No,
What is that? What did I just say? Did I just cuss
I
somebody out in
don't.
front?
You just said words.
No, I'm
That
pretty sure.
that's how far. No, I mean like that's how far
Oh,
behind I am nowadays.
okay, okay.
I took multiple years and used to speak decently fluently in French. I don't think I could hold up a conversation anymore.
See, I'm out here thinking that you just let me say some wild shit. I'm pretty sure it's like what RSVP stands for. My pumpkin grandma, she actually spoke French.
Oh, see,
I'm
that's
at
something. No, I actually didn't know much about her other than she was our band director.
yeah, she did a lot. I'd love to tell you sometime. Like, at least all the stuff she tells me. I'm actually that reminds me that I want to call her probably after we get done here. Um, I'm gonna call her and ask if they have a sewing kit out there because I want her to teach me how to sew. Um,
I've
cause
been wanting to learn how to sew personally. I have a sewing table in my room that it sits there because I don't know how to use it. It's my grandma's.
so I okay. So I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna bring this to this topic now because I've been talking. I talked about this with my friends. Well, for me personally, there's a bunch of skills that I want to learn because I want to teach them to my kids because there's skills I always wish I would learn. Like sewing, my grandma knows how to sew. I thought my mom knew how to sew, but she knows how to fix holes in seams and stuff like that. So basically, with each generation, it's fallen off a little bit more. My grandma knew
Yeah,
how to, mom kind of knew how. I don't know how. I want to learn because I want to be able to make my own clothes. I think it'd be cool to be able to make my own clothes. I want my to be able to make my own clothes for like my kids. And on that line, I also want to learn how to do makeup. I want to be able to do makeup for myself if I ever just wanted to like, stunt real quick for the one time. Get some like blush or something,
pretty up. Just pretty.
Um my fault, what'd you say?
That's what I would do. Is just pretty up a little bit.
Yeah, like get something to just make it pop. Like even for like go take some pictures, like some fire stuff. Like I'm not gonna use it all the time, but like being able to make myself look nicer. Like why would I not want that? Like why would I not want to? I ain't even gotta explain it to you. But also because I would want to be able to do it for my kids if they ask. Like I want to be that like they could ask me like, oh, can you help me with my makeup stuff like that. Um, and so it becomes a whole lot of stuff where it's like I want to learn this so I can either do it for my kids or teach it to my kids. I want to learn how to pick locks. I'm gonna get my kids a lock pick for their third birthday, and
And they're
anytime,
gonna break into people's houses.
anytime I so and I was talking about it with my friends. I was like, I want to get, I want to learn how to pick locks. I want to get a lock picking kit for my kids, And then we were joking around like every time that they come home, we finna change the lock, and they finna have to break into the own house to get in. So every time it's gonna be a different lock that keeps getting harder and harder, so that way they learn how to, be able to do that, just in case it ever comes up for some reason.
Sounds like an expensive endeavor.
Hey, nothing's too expensive for the betterment of my kids.
Start getting the locks now.
Yeah, yeah. Start saving up instead of investing in like gold or anything like that. I invest in locks, and then there's gonna be a whole. I'm gonna have a monopoly on locks, and then I'll be able to resell them for however much I want because I have a
Um,
monopoly. You see, it all comes together.
what
But
would you name the business that sells locks?
I Lockerina and Co.
All right, we'll give you a little more time to come up with
Okay,
something.
thank you, thank you. But yeah, basically, I'm just like self defense classes and stuff like that too. I want for my kids. Like definitely, I want them to be able to defend themselves. Like and I'm not so serious about them having like all these skills, but I want them to have the option to learn, and I would like for them to learn just in case, so that way they have those dumb niche little skills just in case.
For sure. There's plenty of
Um,
things I wish I had learned growing up, and now as an adult, I try to learn it. I'm like, man,
I wish I
wish
knew
I,
this years
know, I
ago.
wish I knew how to do this as a kid. It'd be much easier.
Yeah.
Uh, Playing piano is definitely one of them
Oh, for sure.
because I can play basic, super basic melodies with one hand. I can't use both my hands while playing piano for some reason.
Don't worry. I struggle too. I struggle too.
Want to do it. They can't move separately. I forced myself to learn Megalovania, but the left part is wrong because I'm playing it in rhythm with my right hand. Otherwise, I can't do it.
Yeah, I trust me. I I struggled too when I was learning Song of Storms. It took so much effort for me to learn both parts. And that's just because like getting those hands to do two different things, it's so foreign to me. Because each one has to play like their own tempo. Like when I was playing saxophone, at the end of the day, the tempo is determined by my breath, not by what my
Yeah,
hands are doing.
your fingers were sitting still until you changed notes.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not like even though they're both doing two different motions, they're playing the same tempo.
Now take
So
that. You're using both hands to you choose your notes at least. Take that and simplify it even more into a trumpet.
you're using
Now
one hand.
I learned trumpet or I played trumpet for 4 or 5 years before I even picked up a piano or keyboard. So all of my muscle memory basically had gone into using one hand for notes and then one finger on the other hand just to move a slider
Right, yeah. Like
and just moving and using the slider was always the same note too. It wasn't like there was different notes that had it or like different combinations in my hand. It was always my ring finger and my index finger and then the slider.
oh yeah.
From that to trying to use 5 fingers in one hand, one finger or 3 fingers or whatever on the other hand, way beyond my brain capacity. I can't do it.
Oh yeah. I get you. Like don't worry, you don't even have to explain it to me.
And
Eh,
there's so many other skills too beyond that.
yeah.
I was in color guard for or
Ooh,
not in color guard, but I did winter guard, which is color guard during the winter
winter.
inside.
Okay.
I did that for a year, and that was super fun. I don't think I could spin a flag anymore.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I think I actually remember you telling me about Winter Guard. Now that I think about it.
I have
Um,
my flag downstairs still.
I used to do martial arts for a month growing up.
I did martial arts for one class.
Maybe it was one class. It was either one class 1 week or 1 month. I like to say 1 month. At the end of the day, I don't really remember nothing from that class. Like it's been so long. Like I've been trying to learn guitar as of late. That's been going well. I've been learning Japanese because my major is Japanese. But those are all things that I wish that I knew as a kid. Like Spanish, I don't remember Spanish well, but I can learn Spanish pretty easily. Back whenever I try to learn it again. Um, because I grew up with it. Like, A lot of the words are in stuff in nuances are still in my mind. Just kind of got to get unlocked again, um, and they start to come back like real easy. Like riding a bike, like and getting the rust off of something. Like it's not too bad, but that's also because I was fortunate enough to grow up with that.
Hmm.
Um, like right now, my little siblings don't learn any new languages while in school. Like my little sister's in first grade, and then my brother's two. And I kind of wish they would start to learn another language while growing up. But nobody in this house speaks another language.
Yeah, that's something I think the school system as a whole could be improved upon for sure, even up
Yeah.
to just elementary school.
Fortunately, so the school that I went to for elementary was a dual language school. I went the year that they were established, and so it was sink or swim. Half the school was half the school was taught in English, half the school was taught in Spanish, and I think stuff like that is really good for kids. Like I think that is something that should be more
Accessible.
regular. Like yeah, exactly, more accessible because I think that that is so important. I think that's how kind of how it should go. I guess it's hard to do that with one central language, but I don't know, like having a larger emphasis on learning these multiple languages while growing up, while it's easiest for you to take in those other languages. Like I think that's so important. Like with my Japanese major, I want to be able to introduce a curriculum into schools that is able to go through like K through 12. That's at least that was a vanity project that I thought of wanting to do back since like my sophomore junior year. Um, but introducing like a Japanese sort of curriculum that can be taught easily throughout schools to help students
Yeah,
learn while
but
growing up.
also be enough that it doesn't just leave importance in the kid's life forever after they graduate or whatnot. Like, for example, in elementary school, I had Spanish classes started in first or second grade, but they were only once a week for one trimester of the year.
Once a week for one trimester.
That doesn't help me learn a new language at all,
Like,
especially not in elementary school where I hardly remember the stuff that I ate for dinner.
I need you to repeat what you just said.
At Spanish classes, one trimester a year, one time a week.
Okay.
And that stopped because in fourth grade, my school had to cut budget, so we got rid of learning cursive, which I think most schools around the U.S. actually got rid of
Yeah,
learning
I don't
cursive.
think cursive is too necessary anymore. I'm gonna keep it real.
But then my school got rid of learning cursive, but also got rid of the Spanish class.
Now that I think is a little bit more necessary.
And then I went into middle school, and the middle school teacher expected us all to know some Spanish because the elementary schools used to teach Spanish,
Right.
and basically the entire class of kids didn't know Spanish. So where we were supposed to be at by the time we got to high school, we were all like, we had 1 year of Spanish perhaps in middle school that we could recall on. So
That's
it was good by the time we get to high school to learn a new language like French as it is to continue Spanish.
yeah. I I think that our middle school when you got there did a little bit better about that. Although I never took Spanish in our middle school. But they but they had like one class that I will commend them for is they had home ec, and that one was required, if I remember correctly. And basically they taught you how to cook, uh, bake, and taught us how to sew in middle school, which I it's one of those classes I remember making cookies. I remember sewing a pillow. And I'm pretty sure we learned some other stuff in that class that I just can't remember for the life of me right now. But I do think that like a class like that, like actual skills that help that everybody should kind of know, it's nice. Like cooking. First off, cooking doesn't need to be gendered anymore. I'm glad that that's
Oh,
becoming more of a thing where everybody's like, all right, everybody needs to know how to cook.
yeah, everybody should know how to cook, and it's something also I wish I had learned growing up because I did not.
Hey, if you ever
Uh,
want me to teach you,
I have a few recipes that I know because they're like my favorite foods, and I forced myself to learn how to make that. I was like, oh, I like that a lot. I wish I could just make it whenever. Well, now I can. But beyond that, like three or four things that I can cook, I can make spaghetti, sure. Like boil some water, throw the noodles in until they're ready.
See, I've never made spaghetti. I don't. Whenever I do something, I have some set recipes, but I like winging stuff a lot. Um, and I don't know, like there's like a sixth sense that comes with like winging it, or a fifth sense. It just tastes that you kind of I don't know, like develop. Like I'm not gonna say I'm goaded or anything like that, but I think that I'm definitely like able to recognize. There becomes a point where you start recognizing what stuff goes well with each other, or like if this much is too much or not enough, um, sort of thing. And cooking feels like a lot more. Cooking is definitely a lot more generous for mistakes than baking. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, my dad is an amazing baker. Like I think he could literally sell his food if he or like
Y'all
his
got some
product.
family recipes I can get?
I can talk to him about it for sure. My mom
Ooh.
also knows how to make homemade lemon bars and a whole bunch of stuff. Baking, my family knows how to do it. They wouldn't teach me how to do it when I asked them, and it's beyond me why. I had no clue. I would love to be able to bake food and bake a cake, bake whatever. Just I no
Hey, I
clue.
got you. I'll
Yeah,
teach you at some point, probably.
my dad basically when I asked him, he was like, just follow the instructions." I was like, "Yeah, that's super helpful. Thanks."
I mean, there's like some nuances and stuff that definitely make it nicer. Like, my mom told me that she doesn't even write down like the full recipes, or at least when she gives them to other people, she doesn't give them the full recipes. So that way, there's still like a little bit of a nuance that they won't that makes them pop out more. Like she does it with like our cinnamon rolls. There is parts that she doesn't write on the recipe for other people, so that way they can't necessarily recreate them to a
Unless
T.
they figure it out themselves.
Yeah. Which I love family recipes so much. Like that's one of my favorite things to collect. I had one of my friends, she gave me their recipe for tres leches, which is like it's a cake. It's a strawberry cake. Um and it's so good. And so it's just like things like that. Like I love those because it means that there's a whole household and a whole culture usually that enjoyed that.
Yeah,
There's a story behind it. Basically, is what it comes down to, and that's kind of why I like them so much. Is that there is a story and a sentiment that lies in that recipe, and being able to recreate that and share it with other people. I'm like, yo, that's why I love. That's why I love food so much. That's why I love cooking and baking.
that's something for sure. My mom is similar in that way. She has an entire recipe book of all just recipes that she found from either our family or other people's families that she collected
I'm
and
gonna
made a
have
whole
to.
recipe book out.
I'll have to talk with your mom.
Yeah. One of the things in it is crab salad. One of the only things that I know how to make.
Ooh,
It came from my step grandmother, I guess. So my grandpa's new wife.
yeah, that sounds
Uh,
good.
she's Ukrainian, but her family is Russian.
Ooh,
So she had a lot of good or bad recipes. Some of them were iffy for sure.
yeah,
But the
yeah.
crab salad, from what I know or from what I've heard, is that's the specific crab salad that Russian families will make for New Year's over there,
Oh, that's
and they have it
awesome.
as like their treat for New Year's or what, or just a regular dish. And I didn't know that until like yesterday when I made crab salad. And my dad's girlfriend is Russian, and she was talking about it, and I was like, wow, now I feel kind of guilty for making this so often. When like
You're
kids,
ruining the tradition.
yeah, not only am I ruining the tradition, but there's kids over in Russia that probably would love to have it as often as I have it.
See,
And they have New Year's every year. I
hey,
had no.
my fault. Go ahead.
That was it.
uh, I'm just like, hey, you're just talking about having crab so often, and I'm just like, I'm already like crab feels like a luxury for me. Like,
It's
I,
fake.
I'm not a, I'm not a, oh, fake crab.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fair. I'm
real.
going to say it is expensive. I'm not like a huge seafood fan. Like, I don't like the texture of it. Like, okay, my favorite food is salmon. I'll eat salmon and tuna usually. I'll eat other fish as well, but uh, I know you think about the conversation the other
Yeah.
day.
I know. The best part about said conversation, I have no clue why everyone was flaming you, because that is just a
I don't
totally
know.
normal sandwich that my family eats.
I don't know, bro. I was literally like, so literally, all right, y'all. I'm gonna give you context to this story, bro, because I knew this was gonna come up the moment I said something. When I was a kid, I would go to Subway. And at Subway, I would get a very specific sandwich. Now, this sandwich would comprise of a $5 footlong on Italian bread with tuna and mayo, and that was it. And I would eat that sandwich, maybe get some cookies if I really felt like it. And it was the best thing growing up for me in the world. It was so simplistic. It had good protein, had carbs, and it was great. And then these people, these niggas in my Discord server, have the audacity, the gall, to start flaming me over my sandwich choice. Like,
Again, I no clue why either. Like that is totally something my mom would make, and I'd be like, or she'd text me or call me from upstairs and be like, "Hey, you want me to make you a tuna sandwich?" I'd be like, "Sure." You know what was on that sandwich? Tuna and mayo.
exactly.
That's
It's,
it.
it's so, because it's so, like, oh my gosh.
It's like so maybe sometimes usually my mom would mix the tuna and the mayo before putting it on the sandwich, which I assume you've done before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that
Because
it's
I've made
just
them at home too. Like, it's not like I just get them exclusively at Subway. I've made them at home multiple times growing up.
you just mix in tuna and mayo and it becomes like a tuna salad that you put on a sandwich,
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. They're talking about it's disgusting, but it's literally tuna salad. They're like, tuna and mayo? That's disgusting. And I'm like, nigga, that is literally what is in a tuna salad. Like, and then this dude, Black Ryan, he has the nerve to say, I don't eat tuna anyways. And I'm like, how can you say that it is bad when you literally don't eat it? I didn't understand where all the hate came from, because like
I was just sitting back and enjoying the conversation. I think I input at the last point. I was like, "Yeah, I don't understand," but like for the most of the conversation, I just sat there and read what was happening.
yeah, it's literally like such a basic thing. And like tuna, it's like really, it's actually really good if it's done right. Like, and that's what I just don't understand is like
Yeah,
where all that hate came from. Just out of nowhere. I didn't think it was possible to dislike tuna with like so ostentatiously, bro. Like like the way, bro, the ostentatious amount of hate.
the conversation lasted so long too. I'm going back through it. There's so many messages for no reason, and
It,
the entire conversation
it was
ended
like
with
four different niggas all ganging up on me.
the last message of the entire conversation was, "Don't worry, Ocarina. I like tuna salad slash sandwiches." That's it.
Thank you.
I said that, and everybody stopped talking about it.
Thank you. See, I just needed one other person to take my side and say that I wasn't crazy, because I didn't know that there was just that many people that just didn't like that. Because like, for what reason did they have to hate it like that? There's no reason that they had to like get on me about that.
World's wild.
Bro, I don't even know why we started talking about this. I'll say something about some fish. Oh, I don't crab. Oh, we were talking about seafood.
Yeah.
Um, I just so heated because for no reason. Oh,
You were talking about specifically what seafood you like.
yeah, I'll eat fish. That's definitely salmon's my favorite food in the world. And pretty much anything with rice I would love. But I love salmon. It's my favorite food. I don't have it super often, and that's also part of what I love about it. Is like it becomes a delicacy, and more so special when I have it. Like I think my first real date I went to a Japanese restaurant, and I had sashimi, and I had salmon sashimi, which is just sliced raw fish. Um, and then I'll have like whenever there's like a holiday that comes around, sometimes depending on what it is, like for my birthday or whatever, I'll get salmon. And it's my favorite food in the world, but it doesn't mean I have it often. Um, But in terms of like crab and shrimp and stuff like that, I understand the like for them, but they are a lot tougher of a seafood for me. And that they're like tougher and slimy to
I
me.
think that might be one of the best things about the crab salad I eat is we tear up the crab to very small pieces.
And shredded, like shredded crab.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I might have
So
to try that.
it's definitely and you can even because we still have like small chunks in ours. You could shred it up more than that if you wanted to.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of making food is if you don't like the texture of something, you could
change
shred it up.
it. Yeah.
Have to feel the texture.
Yeah. Like it's so easy. And for me, I probably would shut it up more cuz and that's more so less about the actual taste, but for me whenever I make food, I like for the experience of eating to be very fluid. Like I made sriracha chicken and rice with my friend for the very first time. Made it from scratch. No recipe or anything, but I saved the recipe because this junk was bomb. He was asking me about adding like broccoli and green beans to it, and I said no because it would disrupt the flow of eating. So he had chicken, rice, peas, corn, and some other stuff. I think, or I think the rest was just like a homemade sauce that we made. And at the end of the day, when we ate it, he was like, "You're right. Green beans or broccoli would have made this so much worse." And that's just for me. I like a very fluid eating
Yeah.
experience, like where you don't have to, cause like I don't know, like whenever you're eating something, like have you ever like ate like a sandwich from like McDonald's, and it's like all of a sudden you taste something crunchy, or like
Oh, trust me, I've eaten McDonald's. I worked way too long. Oh,
it's like that kind of stuff. Like I don't like having those experiences because then it's like you kind of pause for a second. You have to stop enjoying it and question, what
that's
did I
one
just
thing.
eat?
Crunchy food shouldn't be in sandwiches and whatnot for me. I can't stand it. Or like
I'll take
even
lettuce. I'll take lettuce.
yeah,
Lettuce is crunchy water.
lettuce is an exception. But like when I go to Taco Bell or when I worked at Taco Bell, there was the beefy Frito burrito,
Does
and
that
I tried.
literally have Fritos on it?
Yeah, it literally has
I don't like.
Fritos, whole Fritos in it.
They're trying to do that
It
classic
was it was like beef,
sandwich.
nacho cheese, and Fritos. That was the burrito.
They're trying to recreate the after pool sandwich that had like that was two white slices of bread, some Doritos, mayonnaise, and like ham or turkey and shit like that.
Yeah, it was just, and I understand the appeal for it because some people actually prefer the crunchiness. Like my friend Chris, would eat it exclusively when he went to Taco Bell. I couldn't. It was very gross. I could not stand the crunch interrupting. I was eating a burrito with beef and nacho cheese. It was good, and then all of a sudden there was a crunchy chip in it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's okay. So, and I'm gonna give another example of a sandwich that does it well. Now, I'm gonna preface it by saying though, I do not support Chick-fil-A. But at the time where I did eat them because I didn't necessarily realize what they were doing, um, in terms of anti-LGBTQ plus,
Yeah,
anti-black, like all that stuff. Their chicken sandwiches are done very well. Like how the chicken, it is like just a straight up piece of chicken that is in between two pieces of bread. However, they do a good job of cooking it. And it is fried if I remember correctly, but it is not so deeply fried that it is crunchy. It's very soft and like kind of fall apart. They do that well. I'm not saying go buy it. It's not worth I don't think no delicious food in the world is worth taking away people's rights. But
yeah. We're funding that company, even if you want a sandwich like that. No.
let this be an inspiration to make your own at home.
Yeah.
I know somebody leaked the Chick-fil-A sauce recipe at some point on Twitter, and I definitely screenshot that joint, so I won't never have to think about going there.
Another the flow of food. Back to that, my crab salad that I keep going back to. It's
I'm
because I
gonna
love
need the recipe now. You keep talking about it so
yeah,
much.
and I just like it so much. It's super simple to make, and it's just like five ingredients, and they all work well together.
Is
Like
it
rice,
crab and salad?
no,
Okay.
no, there's rice, mayo, and crab, corn, and egg.
See,
And if
rice
you
already sold me.
yeah, and if you put egg or crab next to each other, you'll notice they have a very similar. It's hard boiled egg. You'll notice it's a very similar texture. So that works well together. The rice and the corn are nice little like
Filler,
con-
sort of.
yeah, they fill, the dish, and they also like contrast each other perfectly because the rice is just like there. It's pretty no taste really, right? It's just
Yeah,
rice. But the corn, you'll bite into a piece of the corn, and it's kind of
explodes.
it explodes and has a very, in my opinion, similar, not the same, but similar texture to the rice, and it just all
I
works
kind of
well
see that.
together
Yeah,
and ends up being good. Not my favorite food. Sushi is my favorite food by far. I do not eat sushi very often. Good sushi is very expensive.
and hard to come by, especially where
Yeah,
we live.
yeah. So sushi, favorite food. Do not eat it very often. I actually have a collection of chopsticks from good sushi
Ooh,
restaurants that I've gone to. That's one of the. That's the only thing actually that I collect.
I have a travel pair of chopsticks, but that's it. Actually, I have. I guess I have two because I have a travel pair of chopsticks, and then I have my bento, which I'm missing the bottom half of, and I know where it's at. So, but because I know where it's at, I know I'm probably never getting it back.
Oh,
That is a story for another time. Um,
no podcast.
but I'm also kind of surprised at the lack of um good seafood that we have here, given how close we are to um
Five
5 different lakes. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna
different.
say the ones up north, but there's definitely a lake that's about like an hour away from here.
Less than an hour for me. Like, come
Like,
on, there got to be
yeah,
some reason that we're not getting any good seafood.
which I've gone to the coast, and I've I think I've had some of their food once because it is expensive. Both on the lake and on like the actual coast, like California.
Yeah,
Um, it is expensive, but fresh. Oh man, it's good. Like
but
fresh
it is
seafood's good. I've also had like
worth it as a treat to yourself if you feel like you've done something to deserve it, which is when I usually eat sushi.
yeah, and sometimes living is good enough for a reason for me. I'll be like, hey, I made it to the day. I'm gonna treat myself.
I'll go to 10 or something and be like, I did drive here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I made
Sushi.
it. I didn't crash.
It doesn't matter that it's not good sushi. This is my reward. Cheap sushi.
Man, I do wish that there was better ones. I'm kind of surprised that there's not. I've had oyster before. I would tell you that. So, okay,
I've never had oyster, but I've seen people eat oyster.
I
It's
gagged.
gross.
I
It
get
looks gross.
exactly. That is why I gagged. The actual taste of it, I think it was. I can't remember if it was oyster or clam, but it shows when I was down in Florida though. The actual taste is not bad. It's from what I remember, and my mouth is salivating or whatever. So I know for a fact that it was salty. Based off of that. Which I did remember. It is salty. Um, it's like a broth, basically. It's like when you eat it, you have to think that you're just having a broth. Um, it's definitely it is weird because it's slimy. It's not really something you want to chew. It's kind of something you just want to slurp down. It's like a booger, bro.
Oh, all of the adjectives and everything you just used to describe it. Nope, I'm out. I don't even like broth that much. Like you make a you can soak potatoes, carrots, and beef in a
In
broth,
the broth,
and I
yeah.
probably won't enjoy it very much
It's
because I don't
I
like
love
broth.
broths. I love broths. I'm not phonology. I think it's really good. I don't like fat. I like broths.
Actually, I like fat on food more than I like
I
broths.
hate fat. I hate fat on food. I'm so picky. Like when I eat chicken or like even like fried chicken. Like that's why I usually like I don't know. Sometimes I don't get it around other people because they're like super judgmental about if you don't eat the entire thing. And I'm like,
No, I have
I
a
don't
friend
like
that
fat.
same exact way.
I don't
Me
like
though,
fat. I will tear apart a piece of chicken just to get like the actual meat and avoid all the fat.
my turkey fat I think is the only exception to this for me. But like, if I get fried chicken or something, uh, maybe I won't swallow the fat. Maybe I'll have like something that I spit it out into, like a napkin or whatnot. But I like at least chewing the fat because of the texture of it. I
Flavor.
like the texture of it,
Okay, yeah.
the texture specifically. Turkey fat is the only exception because turkey fat is disgusting. Every
Oh, you
year,
meant it was a bad exception.
yeah, yeah, no, every year on Thanksgiving. I will always try. I will get a piece of meat, and there'll be fat, and I'll be like, maybe it's not as bad as I remember. And I'll put a piece of it in my mouth. I'll take it like a chew. I'll chew it like I normally would, and I gag immediately.
Man.
Oh, just thinking about it makes me like, ugh. You know,
Yeah, I
ever
get you.
had those types of things. Olives are the other thing. I can't eat olives.
I don't think I've had olives.
Black olives and green olives, both gross. Both
Like,
make me gag.
okay, I've had olives. I don't think I've had olives in a medium in a that has made me despise them.
Uh, Olives have gotten to the point where if it's baked or like if a pizza gets baked and there's olives on it, I'll take a bite of like let's say it's half olive, half normal, whatever meat lovers, pepperoni, whatever you'd eat. I take a bite of the other half and it tastes like there's olives just imbued in the pizza. I can't stand it.
But okay, see, and here's the thing. Here's the thing. A lot of people don't like mushrooms. I don't like mushrooms. I like and it's the same thing for me. I'm gonna say this. It's also the same for tomatoes with me. I don't like mushrooms or tomatoes, but I like the taste that they provide to a meal. So I will cook with them, or make food with them, or eat foods with them, even if I have to remove them, just because I appreciate the taste that they add to the meal.
I could understand that. I'm not a fan of eating tomatoes. Like if what's an example? Chili. My family makes chili with tomatoes in it.
Oh yeah,
I think it tastes great. I think it tastes better when they make it with tomatoes. But I will always remove the tomatoes from my chili specifically
I feel like
because
that's
I don't
very
want.
tedious.
Yeah, well, it sucks. It definitely sucks. But the rest of my family likes eating the tomatoes, so I'm not gonna like complain about it.
Right. Nah, I get that. Yeah, I think it makes sense too. I think it's just funny. I've definitely felt my palate refine over the years, especially just with wanting to be a chef
Yeah,
or open up
for
my
sure.
own cafe, like stuff like that. Like I don't eat red meat. I don't like red meat. Red meat usually makes my stomach sick. Same with certain deep fried stuff and greasy
I'm
foods.
in the same exact boat, but I will, except for one thing, I love red meat, but I can't eat it because I will probably not be sitting in my chair in the bathroom for the next few hours
S-
after eating.
See, I can't. I don't know. I don't like it. Like and but I will eat it. I will eat those things. Uh, Sometimes, not often. Like most of my friends know too now. If we get food that usually they can't get anything, or they'll avoid, like if we're getting something like for a group, like we won't get something like pizza anymore. We'll get something like we'll order from like a place that has options because they know that I can't really eat uh greasy foods and red meats without my stomach hurting and making me almost throw up. Which I think came from college because I started eating very healthy at college, like wraps every day. Um, so I would just not able to take grease and red meat as much as I used to. But I'll eat them occasionally just because I want, like, if I'm working on like a recipe or something like that, or want to try some new food, like, I don't know, it's part of like that refined palate. Like, it's not like I don't like the taste or anything. I can still recognize the taste, and it can still taste good. Like, sometimes my mom will make like lasagna, and
Oh,
I'm lactose too. Like,
that's one one of the other ones that I know how to make.
and I'll eat it because it's good. Like even if it makes my stomach hurt, even if my body's telling me not to eat it, it's good. And I just want to be able to have that experience still. Like food is an experience.
I agree. My I would say my palate's definitely refined. Probably not as much as yours because you cook and whatnot. But as a kid, I can tell you, I ate one meal. I would only eat one thing for dinner, no matter what, and that was spaghetti. And then I discovered I liked lasagna a lot. That became a problem because then I would only eat spaghetti or lasagna. And sometimes I would only eat lasagna, and that's expensive to make unless you buy like cheap stuff from the store.
Right. Which then doesn't
But
always taste as good.
yeah, and then I'll complain. So I was very picky as a kid, and then as I've grown up, I've noticed I've gotten better about it. Olives still a no go. You can't put olives on or around any of the stuff I'm eating, or I will not eat.
Maybe I'll try making you some calzones one day. They don't have olives in them, but they have mushroom.
I like mushrooms, so that's fine.
So yeah, and it's like it is still gonna be like kind of along that same line of what's it called? Of pasta type stuff is just deep fried.
Yeah, pasta. Make me pasta and I'll probably eat it unless you somehow find a way to put olives in my pasta.
Olives can go in pasta.
Nope,
That's literally just like that's just a
nope.
thing.
That's the thing. Not for me. You
Okay.
speak blasphemy.
Okay. It's like pineapples on pizza.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with people eating that. I wouldn't eat it, but
Yeah,
whatever.
I wouldn't eat it either. Pineapple. Well, aside from just not eating pizza, pineapple, even if it's dried, it feels too juicy.
Oh, see, that's why I like plain old pineapple by
Well,
itself.
okay. That's why I like it by itself. That is
Yeah, I
why I
don't want
don't like it on pizza.
on anything else.
Yeah, yeah, or
That's the
anything.
problem. Is it takes away from the food I'm eating.
Yeah.
That's another thing with olives. I feel like olives are way too strong to be putting on food. Probably on top of the fact that I don't like it, it just is such a strong taste already that it ruins whatever I'm eating.
I
Uh,
am going to make you a dish that has olives incorporated somehow.
and you're gonna find out that I'm gonna throw up as soon as I put it.
No, 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 no. You're going to love it.
Peppers on a much lesser scale for sure.
I like
Half the
peppers.
peppers in the world I will eat. Half of them I will not eat. I don't know why. I don't like the texture of any of them, but some of them, the taste I can bear with the texture.
Carolina Reaper?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That's definitely on the. I will eat it.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh, you give me bad memories from Taco Bell.
What did
One
they
of
have
my
at Taco Bell?
workers bought Carolina Reapers
Hmm.
and brought them into work one day, and we decided, yeah, we can eat at least a seed or whatever. You know, the seed's
Hmm.
really hot too. Everyone was popping a seed in their mouth. I was like, I wonder. And then I took a bite of the pepper. And then I was like, okay, this is too much to deal with. I will get dairy to help this out.
It
I
is.
put a dab of sour cream from the sour cream gun that we have on my tongue, and I almost threw up immediately. It was
Yeah, you
within
have to be
seconds.
really careful with what you have when you have hot stuff. Like, for me, and I have another point I'm gonna come back to, but for me, hot stuff, it's not necessarily hot for me. Like, it can be hot for me, it just doesn't bother me as much. But what I hate about hot stuff is it gives me hiccups. I don't know why. My nose won't run, my eyes won't water, but I will get hiccups. Like, I love spicy nuggets from Wendy's, but I get hiccups. And the problem with hiccups is that it makes you almost throw up because you can't get your air. So I have to try to drink
Yeah,
water to try to suppress the hiccups and try to get my lung realigned. But that doesn't help because it just makes me almost throw up more. So I do have to get dairy only because of hiccups so that I don't throw up. Even though the food isn't hot. Like, I love spicy stuff. Like, when I tell you about the sriracha chicken I had made, it was so good. But it gave me hiccups. And that's the only reason why I don't eat hot stuff all the time is because it just hiccups are the most annoying body function in the
I agree.
world.
I've gotten lucky. My mom has a little thing that she learned from somebody that if you put, I don't know why it works. I assume it has something to do with the way you're tilting your head while drinking the water. But I put a butter knife in the glass, like a tall glass of water, and I rest the base of the knife on my forehead, which forces you to tilt your head while you're drinking the water instead of just tilting the cup, right?
Right.
Which is, I assume that's why, because it opens up your airway and what, or your like whatever.
Yeah, your air passageway.
You
Yeah.
have to drink the entire cup in one go, and usually I don't think I've ever myself or had somebody else that tried it not had the hiccups go away. They always go away 100% of the time,
Okay,
which
I
is
might have to try
funny
that.
to think about. It's funny to think about because so many people say stuff like that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I might have to
And then
try that.
I think about it. I'm like, man, that sounds so unbelievable, but like it's true. I've never had it fail for me.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you further questions on after what type of cup, what size. Or actually tell me right now, what cup size?
Yeah, I've never been specific. It's just like you
No
take
question.
if you were to take a pop can,
Yeah.
make a cup that's a little taller than that and a bit wider than that.
Okay. And then you just put the butter knife up against the wall away from you,
Yeah,
tilt it up to your or put it to your forehead and just tilt back.
blade in the water. Don't put the blade out of the water. Bad idea.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't know, but I don't want to know either. And you just place the handle on your forehead and drink the entire cup in one go.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna.
It's funny because my dad and my mom are divorced, which plenty of families are like that.
Is that the funny part?
No, the funny part is my dad, ever since they divorced, has been trying to find somebody who the trick fails on, and he hasn't found somebody yet.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. See, I'm gonna fuck around, and give myself hiccups on purpose to find out
Yeah,
now.
and then you'll be the one, and I'll tell my dad he finally won.
Wait. Oh, there's stakes in this now. Wait, do I get something if I help win?
No,
Okay.
the satisfaction of settling a fight between two people that should have never started.
Okay. Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if I ever tried it, if it works out or not.
Make spicy food easy.
Uh, but what I did want to say in response to your peppers earlier is I've been muddling on this idea that I want to order, because you can just order like Carolina Reaper chips and stuff on Amazon, and
Yeah,
it'll get there like 1 day shipping, which I love the ease of access and stuff. Because growing up, whenever you would see YouTubers do this stuff, it felt like they had to like do 7 different quests to get this stuff whenever they would talk about it. Like,
they went to 40 different stores and all of them
yeah,
didn't have it. So then they went online and went to the deep web just to get a Carolina Reaper. And we're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah, like it's like it's like they be talking about like I had to fly to Brazil to meet with this dude named Shezwan that took me to this computer that had access to the deep web, and then like telling
Like,
this whole story about how they got it. Now you can just get on Amazon for $7.99 for like a 18-ounce bag.
yeah.
Like, so, and I've been thinking about and this is just a random one for a stream, um because it's Spooktober, about ordering a bag of hot chips and eating a hot pepper while doing a horror game.
Well, I can't be. You have to do this stream on a day that I can see it.
Hey, VODs exist.
I,
VODs exist.
I'm always there to watch you suffer, but not actually. Oh, the
Yeah,
health,
yeah, you gotta clarify that one, huh?
yeah. But the health puzzle, perfect example. I funded that thing just so I could watch you go insane trying to solve it.
Yeah, if y'all don't know, this dude Frost, he donated $100 for me to buy a 1,000 piece all white puzzle, and I literally sat and tried to solve it for 12 hours, and I didn't even make a quarter of the way progress.
You were almost there. You
Uh,
had the entire
mm,
border. You had the entire border, which was the easy part. So I guess, but you were
the
all
easy part, yeah, I'm pretty sure that part took me 6 or 8 hours.
and you were almost halfway done with the first
Quadrant.
quadrant,
Yeah.
which was just it only happened to be the easy quadrant, but
Like, one day I'll come back to it,
better
but
bet on me holding you to this too.
haven't said when, so sure, it can be 100
Yeah,
years later.
if I'm still alive, I'll be there to see it.
um but yeah, this man has funded that. You funded Resident Evil
Uh,
3 too.
yeah, that was by far one of my favorite things to watch on your stream.
Ah, I hated that so much. This dude Nemesis was so scary. I thought I
Dude,
was good, and then he would just Superman dive in front of me.
you hit him with a car and he comes back.
Like, oh my gosh, that one was
Oh, I
awful.
think the best part was you running screaming through the city trying to escape him, and he would just jump past you, and you're like, "Wait, I have to go that way though."
Yeah. I still gotta, I gotta chop up and edit and upload those VODs still, because that
Yeah.
was a
You
good
know what
time.
else you have to do?
What's
You
up?
got to finish that RE7, Resident Evil 7. Waiting on that still.
I got you
You know,
soon.
it's nice seeing how scared you were when you played Resident Evil 3 because I'm like, Resident Evil 7 is actually a horror game.
Oh my gosh. Like, so, okay. Um, I don't know how much you saw Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares was awful.
I
Um,
was there for most of it.
I got scared so many times.
Yeah.
I gotta finish Last of Us 2 still. I'm literally like 2 or 3 hours off from the end of that game. I don't know why I don't just pick it up and finish it. Resident Evil 7, I was talking with, gosh, I forget who I was talking with. I think you were there when we played Among Us in the Discord server. Was it?
No,
No, I was talking with Riser. Um, Riser Infinity, and we were talking about Resident Evil 7. So he said that it looked like I wasn't scared. I had to tell him the way that I get through these and why it looks like I'm not scared. I get through them with two ways. With with gosh, what is it? With ignorance and talking a lot. I'm pretty sure that's what I told him. So if I start talking a lot while playing the game, just spewing some old bullshit, that is because I am scared and I'm trying to distract myself from how scared I am. Like,
Ignorance, talking, and editing. That's how you look not scared in the videos.
nah, there ain't no amount of editing that can stop some of those jump scares. You'll see none of the game. You'll see me walking down a path and no more of the game. But like, I promise you, so many times I'd be playing horror games. Even when I was playing Resident Evil 3, I'm sure you saw I had to take my jacket off a few times when I was playing that game because I was getting so hot. It's so scared. My hands are sweating and stuff. Like, I had to take my jacket off because I was scared. And video games are so scary because there's such a lack of control over your situation.
When
Like,
normally you are in full control.
yeah, like I can't even guarantee on some of these things that I would do better in real life. I'm just be glad that I have more control over my muscles in real life and that I can box them. But here's the problem: in Resident Evil 3, you can box Nemesis. You can shoot him. He just doesn't die. Like, oh
There's
my gosh,
stopping Nemesis.
it's just crazy. Like, I don't know. I love things like that. But whole story. I'm thinking about ordering some hot stuff and doing it for Amnesia because I don't know nothing about Amnesia. Just that it's a classic horror game. I never watched Markiplier play it, and I know that was like the hits. Amnesia.
Was it? I didn't watch Amnesia either.
It was him and
I watched,
PewDiePie.
yeah, I think I watched like an episode or two, and I was like, this isn't for me.
I just remember Amnesia was like the thing that was supposed to have like taken him off uh like off the charts or whatever.
Back.
Like because that's where Tiny Box Tim is from, if I remember correctly too.
Is it?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I know more about Tiny Box Tim fan games than I do about where he's actually from.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Amnesia.
And then Barrels was also from Amnesia, right?
I don't know. I might have seen one episode of Amnesia. Like, I think I have brief memories of someone walking down a hall, but really I don't know nothing. And that's always the best part is not knowing nothing when you go into it. I was happy I forgot how Little Nightmares went when I went into it because I was so scared around so many junctures. I was like, I don't remember what's happening next. Like, at all. Like, oh my gosh. Same with Resident Evil 7. Like, it's been years since that game came out, so I don't remember what happens. And that's why I'm always so scared playing it. But yeah, I don't know. Things like that. It's just fun. I'm gonna have to give y'all some more incentive before I torture myself what's it called? Eating some hot chili peppers while playing some Amnesia. I'm gonna need some more incense.
Fun.
Nah, but I'm gonna probably I'll have to look at my bank account first, but I'll tap in with y'all, get some more see how y'all feel about it a little bit more, get some feedback from the Discord server. But I know everybody's gonna be like, "Do it, bro. Order the chili peppers, bro." Like,
What I know is that me and at least one other person, I think was it Sappy?
Sappy was talking about buying me Phasmophobia.
Yeah, Phasmophobia, by far the one I want to watch you play the most because I think it'll be far scarier than Amnesia.
Really? I don't know nothing about Phasmophobia, just that I'm pretty sure it's multiplayer.
It is multiplayer, but if you're not playing with friends, it's probably more scary because you don't know who you're playing with. You're trying to figure out what kind of ghost is haunting the building you're in or whatnot.
Oh, hell nah. What am I, Mystery Incorporated? Bitch, I ain't.
From like a normal, friendly old ghost, I think. Maybe not, I might be wrong. To like a poltergeist. And these things will just kill you.
Bitch, this is not Scooby-Doo. I am not Mystery Incorporated, bro. Yeah. Damn Ghostbusters in this bitch. Like, I am not dumb.
One of the from a YouTube video I saw or a clip it was a Dad Tadoya clip actually.
Oh, okay.
He got a picture of the ghost because you have to get a, or you don't have to, but lots of time you'll have to like get a picture of a ghost to help you figure out what kind of ghost it is. He is screaming his head off in fear, and then the ghost corners him at a dead end, and he can't go anywhere unless like somebody shows up to help him out, because the ghost will be like less active if there's two people or whatnot.
Okay, interesting.
Just like he
Is
like starts sitting in a corner, almost crying because he's just frightened of this ghost.
is the ghost AI controlled?
Yes,
Oh my
I
gosh,
think.
that just makes it so much worse.
But
I'm glad.
you know what's even worse? Worse
Hmm.
is it can hear your mic. So if you say like a keyword like ghost, it'll make it a little more active.
I think okay,
Or
I actually think I
like
remember that. I think I remember hearing
frightened
about
or
that.
I'm scared,
You're
it'll
supposed to
become
try
even
to
more.
talk to it.
Yeah, yeah. And if you say its name, it'll go batshit crazy. Basically, it'll just kill you.
Okay,
So that's like an end game thing.
I'm gonna have to check it out. I know Sappy was talking about how she wants to buy it for me. Sappy, if you're hearing this, you a sweetie, but you ain't gotta do that for me. You really ain't gotta do that for me. Love you all y'all, but you really don't gotta do that for me. But I definitely am gonna look at getting
I
that.
will. I am thinking about getting it myself next paycheck after other purchases like the fighters pack for Dragon Ball, which I still haven't gotten.
Like, yeah, we're gonna have to get a little group thing going again for
Four.
stream
I
or
think it's
videos or something.
like 4 player or
I
something.
think so. I think it's 4 player. Like I said, I started to watch a video on it and then I just never finished the video because other stuff came up. But yeah, I'll look at it. I'll look into it. I think it's like 14, $15 or something like that. It's double digits. I know that for sure. But I don't think it's more than 20. Um, and I'm gonna get it because that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I think. With that being said, that is all the time that we have. Did we miss any key points? Did we cover everything?
I mean,
No
we
open
kind of
open
winged it
ends.
for most of it, you know.
I was gonna say I feel like we did pretty good about leaving no open ends on our conversations. And that was
Yeah, there's probably a few here or there where we
hey,
moved on, like
that's just life.
moved on to seafood talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember,
I don't know how any of these conversations came up, but they did, and I'm not complaining.
that's the best way to. It's free flow.
Exactly, and that's what is more enjoyable in my opinion, and what
Yeah,
hopefully y'all think as well. But with that being said, let's do Frost. So we talked about how Frost is a content creator, or he's an ex content creator. Um,
tried. Not, not for me.
but he's still he wasn't sure if he wanted me to give his media or not. But I'm gonna give y'all his Twitter at least, so that way y'all at least have a way. If you're interested, you can go keep up with him in the little amount he tweets, or just see whatever he's retweeting, what he's up to, um, like fighting game interests, and then
Most
hopefully art stuff soon.
hopefully our stuff soon, but for now, definitely mostly just Smash and Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Yeah,
Oh, and a lot of Sora / Kingdom Hearts posts.
there you go.
It'll a lot of retweets about that.
So yeah, go feel free to check him out. Like I said, it's one of my close friends since middle school, and one of my longest supporters in everything I do, whether it be YouTube, Twitch streaming, the podcast even. So his at on Twitter is going to be at Frostbit112, FROSTBIT112. That sound right?
Yeah.
Boom. So that is his Twitter, and of course, links to that will be in the description wherever you're listening to this at. And for me, you can find me on Twitter at what is my Twitter? At Ocarina_Kid. Oh, I generally forgot for a second. All my accounts are named something different. Um, yeah. So Twitter is
Well,
Ocarina_Kid. OCARINA_KID. That'll be that's my Twitter and my Twitch. My YouTube is just gonna be Ocarina, OCARINA. Links to all that, of course, per usual, will be in the description, along with Instagram and any other things that I might be forgetting to say now.
and if you have trouble finding that. If you can find his Twitter, there is his link tree, or what do you have?
Oh,
All my
it's
links?
yeah, all my links. I have all my links with. I see. I just need to start plugging that everywhere.
Yeah.
But I feel like people don't feel like clicking on all my links. They feel like clicking just the link that goes to what they care about. That's why I
That
usually
does
don't use it.
even have the Discord on it for new members who would like to join.
All my links definitely has a Discord.
Yeah. I was looking at it right now, so it definitely
Okay,
does.
yeah. I'll leave that as well. That's just a condensed area or a condensed website
It even has the podcast.
that has everything on it. Yeah, so everything that I do can be found at my all my links, which I'll leave that down below as well, so you can feel free to share this or anything else I do with all your friends. Because who wouldn't love to hear this conversation about gender, fighting, crab salad, and horror. Like honestly, I vibe with it. I love listening back to the podcast. I love the conversations that we be having on the podcast. So, but
I
yeah,
think my favorite conversation, if I were to say, on all the podcasts so far, definitely personality traits.
from
That was a
the
good one.
first one,
Yeah,
I
it's a
like
good
that
one.
one too, and I'm actually planning on having Justin back. Not soon, because I don't. I'm gonna spoil for y'all. I have a long list of people that I like to invite to the podcast. However, many of them actually show up is a different story. And when I want them to be on is also something else that I decide closer to the time. But I do have a list of people that
For sure.
I listen. You are on my list of people. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to have you this month or later down the line. But I do have a list of a bunch of people to get on, and so I want to try to get through as many of them and unique people before I start repeating any people or personalities. But I do plan to have Justin back. Frost, you can come back sometime too if you want,
I mean, I'd be down.
because there's a whole bunch more that we can talk about with you too.
Yeah, we didn't even get into art and whatnot.
Yeah, I was gonna say like all the vector art stuff we never really got into, which I was actually looking forward to talking
Actually,
about.
don't think we touched on any of the main points that we talked about beforehand at all.
Yeah, yeah. All the prep just went out the window, and that is okay.
Feels more natural.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, with that being said, I think I'm gonna end things off here. So one more time, thank you Frost for joining me. You can find him on Twitter at Frostbit112, FROSTBIT112, and you can find me on Twitter as well at Ocarina_Kid, OCARINA_KID. So thank you again, Frost, for coming out.
Yeah. Check out his Twitter. Mine's more so just a hole of no returns.
Oh man, hey, go check out both of us. Support everybody that shows up on the podcast because I love them all dearly. And that being said, stay smooth, y'all. Stay safe. It's a crazy world out there, and I want to know that y'all are safe, that y'all are doing well. Know that I love you, and I'll see you in the next podcast. Thank y'all so much.